2008, you did start with a seed fund of 5 crores.
Of my own money.
Yes, your own money.
Yeah.
And then 2009 was your first outlet, and then 2010,
Exactly.
angel funding. So 2010 till now, when it's 50 outlets, just take us through the journey of this whole scaling up from 2010 till now.
One of the key challenges is availability of good quality, reasonably rented real estate, and that's been a key challenge in terms of scaling up. For instance, in 2010, we had most of our outlets in the northern part of India. The other challenge is the nature of the market. I mean, in India, I think it's multiple countries rolled into one. And it's not like the United States that are 50 states with common language. So the challenge is also in terms of understanding consumer preference and then trying to cater to their taste preference, especially when you're in the food business. The third, and I think this would be the most significant challenge, is availability of a highly motivated team. First and foremost, when you're setting up a new venture and it's a startup, along with your customers, your investors, yourself, there's a lot of doubt whether this company is going to be in business for a very long period of time. So it's very difficult to attract very high quality talent. The fourth thing is obviously it's in every business. I mean, I've built several businesses by now, and I realize it always takes longer and it always costs more. And you'll always be short of your business plan by at least 50%. First, there was no consumer awareness about the product. Two, there was no awareness about the brand. So we had to literally start from scratch and develop a market and educate the customer into what is this product and why is it different from an alternative product, and why they should gravitate to our brand and our product, and how does it. So you're fighting a battle against a pretty large. It's not like a one-on-one battle against one strong competitor. It's a battle against.
Even if we look at Subway, I mean, internationally it's the largest, but when you compare it to McDonald's in India, I mean, the scale is very different. So do you think that marketing for a healthy and niche brand is the biggest challenge?
Is the market not there? Well, there's my difference of opinion. That's why I continue to invest in this business. The challenge is in terms of execution and delivering that experience and educating customers and keeping them coming back and catering to their taste in each individual market. I think once we overcome those challenges, then I think the market opportunity and addressable opportunity is very large.
Okay. You were into two very different businesses before this. One was the paper business, another was the KPO. So as an entrepreneur, I mean, are there any learnings that you are applying in Cocoberry from those two businesses? I mean, something that went wrong there or something, that you really learned in those two businesses that you're applying right now?
Yeah, I think somewhere in the between I said that, it's going to take longer, it's going to cost more, and you're going to be half off. You have to be tenacious, you have to be patient, you have to be realistically optimistic, and pessimism will always kill, and always every year there will be at some point in any business cycle the lowest pessimistic outlook, whether it's from your investors, employees, customers, and that's the time you have to really get up, fight, and keep going. The other thing is, I think cash flow is king. Cash is king. You could have, immense amount of profitability. You have a negative cash conversion cycle. You could go horribly wrong. There are case studies around that. Big companies like General Motors go bankrupt. 263-day, cash conversion, negative cash conversion cycle. Could be profitable, but there's no way for you to stay in business. So I think conserving cash, being very smart about how you spend your money. Why did we pick Facebook? Same thing. We could be advertising in newspapers and magazines, and it would cost us 100 times more, maybe 1,000 times more. So you have to be innovative with no matter what stage of business you are in, no matter how large an organization you have, no matter how big a cash pile that you build. Why does Apple sit on $100 billion? Not that they feel insecure, but cash is always king.
You've recently also come up with different other things in Cocoberry apart from yogurt, that's smoothies, coffee, sandwiches. So, how important do you think is it becoming for niche brands in the yogurt segment to expand into other segments?
I think for us, we're largely a dairy company and a health food company. So the next step for us is to launch a long shelf life yogurt, which is going to happen very shortly. We're trying to innovate around dairy as much as we can, given the constraints of supply chain and given the constraints of innovation and technology in India. But I think for us, the next step would be to move beyond our own stores into your traditional FMCG retail chains. And then, what they call the FMCG or consumer packaged good business, and which is your modern trade and general trade. So we're developing products where Cocoberry will be available through your, you walk into a Spencer's or Le Marché, to be able to buy our products in some shape or form.
Okay, okay.
So I think that's a real innovation that's going to come in the next year.
So also going back to what I asked, like apart from yogurt sales, like what are the other products, like what percentage of sales are the other products right
Actually,
now?
it's negligible. So, we typically are always, swarmed with the same question. So it's winter, why don't we sell coffee? Well, because we're not a coffee company. So can I try it in my store? Maybe it'll work. Every year the same question arises, and the response is, yeah, maybe we will give the store managers flexibility to launch coffee. But we're not a coffee company because coffee is a chair rental business. You rent 2,000 square feet of space, you lease that chair for 50 rupees an hour to somebody who wants to come and sit there. Sits for 2 hours, maybe spend 100, 150. Our stores are 200 square foot. Our revenue per square foot is much higher. We're a transaction business. So, but, sometimes you always succumb to your team's, views that, well, every year it happens, coffee should work for us. I said, it'll not work for us, but I'll give it a shot if you insist.
So also you have a great online presence, with you offer discounts. I'm a part of the Facebook fan page that you have.
Thank you.
And there are also loyalty cards,
yes.
And I've used them also. So how important is online, in this food retail business? And do you plan to go beyond this into TV commercials? And do you think that stage will come soon that you'll need to do all that?
See, I think it all depends on the penetration of the product within the market space. Right now, penetration is relatively low. So if we went to TV, which is a mass medium, two things would happen. One is it's very difficult to identify what TV program or which channel you should advertise on. What we know for a fact, and it doesn't require rocket science or any media company or Lintas to come and tell me, is that everybody's on Facebook and they're spending most of their time, whether they're in office or at home. So I think for us, the investment is currently in social media and online. Two, what happens is you get an engagement with your fan base. You can respond on a more frequent basis. Whereas when you look at conventional media, it's a one-way mechanism. There's no way for you to invite feedback. So I think for us, once we expand into a much larger number of retail locations and our depth increases in terms of number of customers that we are reaching out to, in terms of number of cities that we're reaching out to, in terms of stores that our products are available on, perhaps at that time it might make sense for us to look at television as a medium for us. But at this stage, I think, I don't need to tell anybody, the online space is exploding, and I think we're banking on that.